Dear viewers, welcome to yet another episode of Expert Speaks. Last time, when I discussed on the real estate subject, I told every 6 months, we will bring you a faculty to update you on what's happening in the Indian real estate. Last video we did about 7 months back. Here we again do today, the real estate update. Is the real estate really booming in India? Where are the opportunities? What is it the government is doing? What experts on the subject are seeing in the field? Stay till the end of this video. Very interesting conversation with the expert of the week, my faculty member, Mr. D.B. Mehta. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant, your financial guide for a happy living.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Dear viewers, to talk about real estate, who can be better than my eminent faculty member, Mr. D.B. Mehta? Mr. D.B. Mehta is a top ranker in BCom, a person who has passed the chartered accountancy at a tender young age of 20 years in the first attempt itself. He was a past IRS officer. Then he quit his IRS profession to start his interest in the business. He has been the past chairman of Mangalore Stock Exchange. He was the vice president of NRI Builders of Karnataka. He has wide interest in business in automobile distribution, real estate, renewable energies, and various other topics. A man who can speak on any topic authoritatively at any point of time. He is the chairman of Allegro Builders, a popular builder group in Mangalore, and they have delivered several buildings in Mangalore. He also has real estate interests both in Mangalore as well as in Bangalore. Welcome to this conversation, Mr. D.B. Mehta.
Thank you so much.
Sir, you have done a video about 7 months back. What has changed from December 23 to July 24?
See, if you recall, in my last recording with you, I had very clearly mentioned that real estate has turned on a positive note, and investment in real estate will be the next big thing, and the market is playing out accordingly. The main important thing that has happened in the last, I would not even say 6 months, but in the last couple of years, is inventory levels have fallen drastically. In 2019, inventory levels were at 60 months of demand. Today, it is at only 16 to 18 months of demand. And in a city like Bangalore, it is only at 8 months demand. So you can imagine the shortage of availability, especially ready to move in real estate, is now looking very acute in certain cities. And this will keep the price momentum on. The second thing that has happened is, since COVID, for the last 3 years, India has done very well in its economic growth. And this growth is driven by both manufacturing and services. See, earlier few years back, manufacturing was lagging behind. Manufacturing creates many more jobs and it fuels the demand in real estate. And that is what we are seeing currently, the benefits of 3 years high economic growth. And it's a comprehensive growth both in manufacturing sector and the service sector. The third thing that we are looking at is the Real Estate Regulation Act, which was introduced in 2019. And post-COVID, now the act has got more and more established in itself in practice. And the confidence level of both the actual home buyers and the investors is at a very high with the Real Estate Regulation Act as well. The fourth part which you see as far as the government policy is concerned, policy in the last 1 year has nothing been positive. No new schemes have been announced. The only good thing is because of the thrust on Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for building homes for the poor, the demand for real estate construction material is pretty high. And that has created a cost push inflation in the construction raw materials. And the impact is seen in the pricing as well.
Mr. Mehta, we have the new government in place. The government is going to present its first budget by end of this month. Every industry, every sector has expectation from government, from every budget it presents it. What is the demands or expectation from the real estate sector? Real estate sector is very important sector. Whatever that happens in real estate sector has a cascading effect on the economy. It's obvious that unless the real estate sector really recovers to its boom levels, the overall economy cannot be functioning like a normal economy. What is your wish list? What is your expectation that might happen in the forthcoming budget?
Primarily, the expectations are the policies which the government had reversed possibly needs to be reintroduced. I'll list a couple of them. If you look at the affordable housing scheme which government had launched, where there is a benefits to the developers under the income tax, which has also come to an end under a section 80IB, if I am not wrong, that has come to an end. That needs to be reintroduced. The definition of affordable housing has to be revised because if I am not wrong, it was introduced 5 to 6 years back, where the definition is housing below 90 square meters and valuation below 45 lakhs. Now, it is 60 square meters in tier 2 cities and it is 30 square meters in tier 1 city. So this definition needs to be changed because now the demand is for little bigger houses. And the second part of that scheme was 45 lakhs upper limit of the valuation. Now 45 lakhs in this market is, nothing is available anywhere. So that needs to be increased to minimum 75 lakhs or even up to 1 crore. If these things are brought in, affordable housing segment will revive. Now, why I'm using the word revive? In the last 2 years, affordable housing has been on a decline. The new launches in affordable housing is declining year upon year by 15%, and the demand is also declining year upon year by around 18 to 20%. So the action has shifted away from affordable housing to mid-income housing and high-income housing. And the primary reason is because affordable housing has no more remained affordable. And the only way government can make it affordable is by revising the definition of affordable housing. So that's point one. Point two, the benefits for an investor by buying a second home and third home, which were there in the income tax rules and regulations, have been withdrawn. And the maximum interest leverage you have is for one house, and up to 2 lakhs you can carry over the losses. Nothing more than that. That needs to be reintroduced because finally the market is not only for actual users, the market is for investors also who are looking for stable rental income and capital appreciation. So if that is brought back, then again it will be a big help for the real estate sector. These two policies have to be either reintroduced or revived as per the current market situation. The third important demand that real estate market is having is to reintroduce the ITC benefit for the real estate industry. Currently, the GST is 1% for affordable housing, which is, as I said, below 45 lakhs value, which does not exist in the market, and 5% above 45 lakhs. Builders are charging 5% from the home buyers. And builders are adding the ITC cost, which is around 3 to 5% depending on the project pricing, onto the investors. So investor cost incidence is coming to 10 to 12% in any way. And bringing in ITC benefit will bring in a level playing field between tier 2, tier 3 and tier 1 cities. Right now, the advantages for tier 1 cities and disadvantages for tier 1 and tier 2 cities. So this is one way where tier 2 and tier 3 city real estate can also join into this booming real estate market. So these are the few changes what the real estate industry is looking out for from the finance minister.
In our last episode, we discussed a few statistics with respect to the inventories waiting to be occupied, the new launches and in different cities and pan-India situation. Do you have any statistics to quote at this point of time with respect to these launches, pending inventories, etc.?
Yeah, sure. Now, see, what has happened is, coming to the first thing is the pending inventory. Pending inventory has been stable at 580,000 units in the major 8 cities of India over the last 1 year. So that has been constant. What has been reducing is the number of months demand, because demand is increasing. So 580,000 1 year back was 25 months demand. Today, 580,000 is 17 to 18 months demand. So the number of months demand is coming down vis-a-vis the inventory. And going forward, inventory may remain stable at 550,000 to 6 lakh units. But the number of months demand will come down because the demand. Point two, if you look at the long-term inventory trend, it has come down drastically. So like in 2019, the inventory was at around 680,000 units. Today it is 580,000 units. In 2019, demand was at a very, very low figure, almost around 60,000 units per quarter, so roughly around 2.5 lakh units per annum. So the number of months of inventory was pretty high then. Compared to that, now the number of months inventory has come down drastically. Similarly, the new launches have gone up drastically over the last couple of years. Compared to last year, the new launches are up almost about 18 to 20%, but so as the demand has gone. And city-wise, the demand is varying, and the most active sales happening are, one is Pune, second is Bangalore, third is Hyderabad, and fourth is Gurgaon area. So these are the four real estate subgroups where the sales are happening at almost around 24 to 25% higher compared to the last year.
You mentioned the cost push on the real estate because of rising commodity prices there. And you're also quoting inventory, which is dropping in the number of months supplies into the industry. Well, how does it impact the pricing for the buyers?
See, right now we are in the price increase phase, and the increase is happening for a few reasons. Number one is land prices have skyrocketed. So if you look at the increase in land prices over the last 3 years, it is anywhere close to 50 to 100% depending on city to city. The second thing is cost of construction has moved up. Not only the cost of raw material has gone up by on an average annualized around 12 to 15%, but the cost of labor has also gone up dramatically. The labor cost in the last 2 years has gone up by 40%. And today we are in a scenario where finding labor, both skilled and unskilled, is a massive challenge for real estate developers. And believe me, when workers go for their planting season to their villages or for the election, builders have come to a stage where we have to buy flight tickets for them to bring them back. So because the worry is, if those team don't come back to your project and they go to some other project, you don't want to take that chance. It's come to that phase where this pressures on pricing will be A, from cost push, B, from demand push, and C, from as investors, more and more investors come in, I'm sure that prices will go further. One very interesting data has come up, especially in a few cities like Bombay and Hyderabad and Bangalore, 3 cities, where the new projects which are under the construction stage demands a higher price than ready-to-move-in projects. This phenomena happens when investors move in. So we are seeing the first sign in the last quarter of investors coming in a big way into the real estate segment, and investors normally come at the booking stage. When it's under the construction, when they get the price advantage, and they are looking to encash when the project is ready. So it's a positive sign.
Obviously, it results in a price rise, but let's say that somebody is contemplating to buy his house. How much could be the difference in pricing if he decides to buy it today versus what he's going to buy 1 year later? What could be the cost push that it might escalate to?
If you're talking about the built-up space, what we feel is in the next 3 years, real estate will give an annualized return of anywhere between 12 to 15%. So the cost push in the real estate will be to that extent.
Mr. Mehta, you are one of the person who has used cyclicity, the studies around it, how the markets behave, be it real estate, be it stock market, to the field, and you have had killer success in that. Now, we have seen in the early 90s the interplay between the stock markets and the real estate, and we saw that again in the booming markets of 2005 to 7, and real estate boom extending up to 2012. Can you, for the benefit of my audience, explain the interplay between the rise in the stock market to what happens in the real estate?
See, in an emerging economy, we have to understand the interplay. The stock market starts rising much in advance before the economy starts performing better. The stock market always discounts the future. Real estate starts rising only after economy has performed for a few years. The income of the working class has started moving up. The salaries have moved up. The service sector is doing well. That's the stage where the real estate demand starts picking up. And there is an inflection point where the stock market peaks out. At the same time, the interest rate also peaks out. After that, the stock market starts taking a slow decline or may go into a time correction also. And real estate gets the benefit of the investors' money moving out of the stock market, looks for greener pasture in the real estate market. So that's the time when investors move in. The actual home buyers move in as economy starts growing. The investors move in when stock market reaches a saturation level. Now, we are somewhere close to the stock market saturation level. I won't say that the stock market is saturated, but maybe in the next 6 months to 12 months, the stock market may reach its cyclical peak. And real estate will benefit because of this, because HNIs and investors would be moving out of the stock market and would be investing in real estate.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta, to that answer, which can enrich a lot of our viewers. I'm a financial planner who normally advise people who are about to retire to consider buying a new house closer to their retire. The reason being very simple. Now you have a clarity around where you are going to retire. You don't want to go and move into an old house. Rather, you would like to get into a house which is contemporary in nature with the latest amenities around that. For the benefit of those people who want to buy houses now, who are closer to retire, what are the new innovations brewing in the real estate? What to look for when they choose the houses?
I will answer this question in two parts. One is for the actual user of house and the other one is for the investor also. Now for the actual user of house, the trend is moving towards more and more environment friendly and sustainable real estate projects where the buildings are either green rated, the building has efficiency in water saving, efficiency in power saving, and enhancing the green feel of the entire project. Now, if you look at most cities, it's having water shortages. As with the global warming picking up, more and more water shortages are being seen all around the country. If you have noticed, Bangalore had water shortage, Delhi already has, Chennai has, Hyderabad has. Most of these growing cities has water shortages during the summer months. Now, what will attract the actual home buyer is whether I have 24 by hours water security. And this water security can be provided not by drawing ground level water, which is depleting year after year, but by reusing the water, recycling the water. Like the projects we are currently doing is, we are assuring almost 75% of water from the recycling sources. So you are dependent on the water supplied by the city corporation or by outside sources like tanker water or borewell water comes down to 25 to 30% only. So that is one important aspect. The second aspect is energy saving apart. The energy cost will keep increasing, and the more energy we consume, the more impact it has on global warming. So from both these counts, the savvy home buyers are now looking for projects which guarantees them energy efficiency. So that is the second most important aspect of real estate. Just to give an example, for all our projects, we give centralized water heating system through solar supported by heat pumps. During the monsoon time, you may not get solar water, or during the winter months, the solar throughput may be less. So we support it by heat pump. Now, this completely eliminates requirement of geysers in your houses. Geyser is a power guzzler. According to the calculation, even if you compare with heat pump, geyser requires 3 times more power than the centralized heat pump for the building. So, and geyser occupies space in your bathroom or in your balcony, wherever you place it. So this is a new trend which is picking up, where we give centralized running hot water. And the other advantage of the heat pump is it throws cool air. So that cool air we use for air conditioning the common areas, say like the clubhouse, visitors lobby, and so on and so forth. So even that energy efficiency comes in because of the heat pump. The third aspect is greening your complex. The more and more emphasis is on planting trees. More and more emphasis is on using even small indoor areas for greening. Emphasis on greening your terraces, greening your balconies, greening your elevation. And this green concept has its own natural advantage. A, it cools your premises. B, you get more oxygen, and more life is around the green that you create. Birds come in and so on and so forth. These are the things which the new buyers are looking for.
See, one of the emerging areas at this point of time is senior living. Now you look at the South India, the replacement rate has dropped drastically. We are around 1.6, 1.7 range. Children are moving out of the country, or they move to another city, leaving the aging parents alone to live in this. Empty nesters are rising, and it has its own opportunities and it has its own challenges. How does the real estate industry has identified this trend and warming up to the idea? And what is that real estate industry is contemplating to do for the senior living?
See, now the concept of senior industry is not the concept of only selling the real estate, but it has become a service industry. It's a comprehensive package. Because when you are talking about senior citizen, you have to look about after their physical health, you have to look after their mental health, you have to look after their specific diet requirements or specific treatments. Because when a senior citizen moves in, he comes along with a baggage of issues and problems, both health and mental. And it's kind of a now completely comprehensive service that is provided. Earlier concept was the senior citizen will move in if either they have no children or their children are working abroad. Now that trend is continuing, but it's shifting towards more where in this globalized world, even if you have a child or two children, they are so busy with their own life that half the time they travel all over the country or all over the world, they are not available. They are so busy and preoccupied that they don't have time even to interact with their own parents. And when an emergency happens with your parents, the health emergency, most of the time, people are not available. They are either traveling on work or traveling on holiday or some other thing. So now the new concept is, as your parents cross 65 thereabout, and you are busy with your own personal business, service or family life, you move in your parents to this senior citizen, either daycare or senior citizen living. So the concept where we felt that senior citizens move into the senior homes only when children are not available, that is changing. Even if children are there within the city, but they are not able to give that personal time, they are not able to give that care, they are not having that time to take them to doctors or to hospitals or to look after their treatment, they are also preferring to shift their parents to a senior citizen living. Because the care they get there from day-to-day care, health care, and the company they get, most important thing is the company. Because at home they get isolated, no one to talk to. But when they move into the senior citizen living, they have their own age group with whom they can interact, with whom they can have their own games, own chit-chat, community living, community dining, someone to talk to, someone to share with. And of course, the health issues are taken care of. So now the shift is towards that, where in the Western world, this is now the current way of life, where parents move in to the senior nursing homes. Even when the children are alive, maybe living in different cities, maybe living in same cities. So that is catching up in India.
Very interesting. People used to say, as you get older, you relive your childhood days. So there was a baby care, now there is a senior daycare. So you drop your parents to the daycare unit and pick them up back on your way.
Yeah. No, even dropping and pickup is not required because the services, they pick them up and they drop them back. Like school children are picked up from their home for school and dropped back. Similar services are available.
Are these kind of senior living units are spreading everywhere, or is it still in its infancy?
I would say it's in an infancy. In tier 1 cities, it is in advanced stage because it's become a necessity. In tier 2 and tier 3 cities, we are still talking about very limited, restricted facilities for senior living. There are more facilities in tier 3 cities for abandoned parents, those who are poor and those who have abandoned their parents, which are run by NGOs or not-for-profit organizations. But the actual daycare centers and all are only restricted to a very few tier 1 cities.
One last question to you, Mr. Mehta. For those investors or those genuine home buyers, in the next 6 months, they have a plan to park some money into the real estate sector. Where do you identify the opportunities at this point of time in India? Which cities from the information that you have?
See, what is looking really attractive right now is Bangalore and Hyderabad. These two cities are looking very, very attractive from the return viewpoint and from the affordability viewpoint also. And those who are in super HNI category, they can look at Mumbai. And Pune also is looking slightly attractive in the mid-income segment. See, now the choice has to be made not only city-wise, but the segment-wise. See, if you are in Kolkata, you should not invest in mid-income segment because the supply available is even today 4 years stock in the mid-income segment. So if you will do better if you are investing in Kolkata in the high-end category, apartments above 1.5 crores to 2 crores. So now it has not only become city specific, it has become even segment specific. And, if you look at the new concept of ownership on fractional commercial real estate is catching up very fast. Because that
announced the guidelines for fractional commercial.
Yes, these are offered by the REITs and real estate mutual funds. And this can give you annual rental income of around 7 to 8%. On top of that, whenever you exit, there will be a capital revaluation happens every time the rentals keep moving up. And as our economy keeps moving up, the rentals will keep moving up. Even today in commercial real estate, the rentals are close to 6 to 7% yield only. And if you look at residential yield, they are close to 3 to 4%. Now the next phase will be the rental yields will start moving up. So for investors, those who are looking for the benefit of rental yield as well as capital appreciation, very good opportunity at this point in time. Because your annualized return, if you're holding the portfolio for 5 years, can be anywhere between 12% to 18%.
Mr. Mehta, thank you very much for all these inputs for the benefit of our viewer community. Thank you very much for your kindness to come and spare your time to enlighten my audience. Thank you.
Thank you once again for giving this opportunity to me. Thank you.
Dear viewers, hope the video that I've done today helped you to understand what exactly is happening in the Indian real estate sector, its opportunities, its threats, its innovations, and where you can pinpoint the opportunities in case if you have an intention to invest in real estate. If you like this video, do not forget to give me a thumbs up. If you are a person who is yet to subscribe for this channel, please do hit the subscribe button right now and press the bell icon. Do not forget to share these videos with your near and dear ones, friends and relatives, and on all the WhatsApp groups on which you are connected with. Thank you very much for watching this episode of NRI Money Clinic. I shall be back with you next Tuesday with yet another topic, with yet another expert. Stay safe and Jai Hind.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.